All right, so welcome to Ossiana Talks to People. Today we're live with Lasha, and we have our little fuzzy guest speaker here. She's very cranky. Her name is Octavia.
Does she want to be held?
Not really, but I don't care. She's so cute. And then she starts purring, like right now. She's very cranky for no reason. There we go.
It's just
Like five
all
minutes
the
later, she's, huh?
all the consent violations.
She's gonna come back in like 5 minutes and start like pawing at me. Half the time, I mean, how many times have you seen me literally with a cat crawling on top of me during one of these, you know, shows?
No, I totally understand. My cats used to do that. I miss my cats. I miss my cat.
So today we were kind of talking a little bit about the Epstein files, which were supposed to be released today.
They were.
It's nice that we have all these suppostas.
No, they were released today.
Not all of them.
We're not going to see all of everything anyway. I mean, we've already gotten to see Bill Gates with his cute little senorita, and
True.
we're never going to see everything because national security. I'm sure some people would riot. Watch Mr. Rogers be in there.
No, if Mr. Rogers is in there, I will literally just shrivel up and die. I'm sorry. No, that's illegal.
Mr.
He's
Rogers, and then who else? Who else would be in there? Bob Ross.
We're just gonna put a happy little tree on Oceana's brain right now.
All our heroes are dead.
Oh my god, dude, you're so dark. I don't even mean that pigment wise. I mean like you have a dark mind.
That was amazing. Yeah, I'm very dark. Like I don't
um
even care. I don't even care at this point. I just want it released so we can get this ball rolling because we gotta take care of the Epstein trials, and then we gotta do war crime trials. We're gonna be in federal court for the next 10 years.
no, like I just at this point I don't trust the court system. I really don't because so far they've done nothing but cover up for Cheeto and Chief's behavior. And at this point, I want to be like, okay, how many of these guys got caught in the Epstein files? How many things of Clarence Thomas have involved? Let's just face it, he's into some weird stuff. I can sense it on him. Same with Alito. Alito, I
You
don't
tr-
want to know what he's into, but it's into stuff that makes me look at him like you sick bastard.
you trust our justice system? How dare
No,
you?
I
Oh, okay.
don't.
I was gonna say, I'm like, how in
No,
the
I
world?
I 110% believe that the Supreme Court is being blackmailed because they're part of the Epstein files. And I 100% believe that some of them are into some weird stuff that even I'm not into. And I'm kind of a freak.
Anyone who has money is into some weird shit. I'm just gonna put that out there right now.
Here's
Anyone
my
who is
money.
privileged, anyone who's privileged, like seriously privileged in life, like at that level, is into some shit because they don't have shit else to do. They're bored. They're trying to find ways to occupy themselves in the most extreme shit that you could ever imagine. I have a friend who is a labor attorney, makes millions of dollars. He has been on a boat for the last 3 months, sailing around the world on his own. Like, I'm sure he's got some crewmen or whatever on there, but that's how bored this fool is. He's sailing around the world for 3 months. I'm like, bro, do you even know what's going on back home right now? He's like, no,
I,
and I
I
don't
think that's
care.
why he's sailing, to be honest. I want to play Tintin too. Get me an old crusty captain dude to ship me around the world. It's just I'm afraid of water and I don't do well in daylight. And I actually don't really like boats very much, but I'll take it
Yeah,
at
no,
this
I
point.
not for 3 months. I could 5 days max, maybe seven, but that's I got to get off the boat. I got to be well lubricated. I there can be no children on this cruise. No,
Yeah.
no, they would be eaten
No,
first.
I watched way too many documentaries about the whatchamacallit, the Bermuda Triangle and the Dragon Triangle for me to feel comfortable on a boat. I'm like, you know what? Nope. F that. I ain't doing it. But
As I sit here and try to plan I mean, as I sit here and plan one of my cruises for next year, since I now have my passport,
yeah.
I have my passport now. I'm so fucking excited, bitch. I am free to move about the cabin. I am free to go anywhere in the world I want now. Um, and I might never come back.
No, no, no. I need you here or take me with you, please. Get me away from these
Um,
people.
I have been telling you, like I have discussed this with you already. My first stop is Cancun. You are more than welcome to join. I would like for you specifically to be there because one, at least we would film some actual like usable content,
Yes.
podcasts, interviews, all sorts of shit. Cause I want to do
Hmm.
tons of interviews while I'm there.
Agreed.
And I want to shoot while, doing off-site excursions and stuff too. Like I want to do all of that. And I don't want to do it by myself, but at least with you, I
I'll
don't
make
have
it
to
fun.
be, yeah, like, I mean, I don't want to travel by myself, not to, first of all, not to another country. We would have our own rooms, of course, but,
Hmm.
I don't want to travel alone and I want to make the trip financially worth it, which means it doubles his work.
Yeah,
So, um,
that's the way to do it. Like anytime I rent a cheesy hotel, like obviously I'm doing some content in that hotel room. You know what I mean?
oh, well, we're
Um,
going to a whole, lifestyle friendly resort. So it's not, we're going to Temptation. So it's not like we don't have to worry about it being a cheesy hotel. I mean, I guess the hotel is cheesy enough as it is.
I like the cheesy hotel vibe, but let's get back to the whole Epstein thing. So far, we've seen Bill Gates. I believe
Yeah.
Matt Groening got implicated as well.
Simpsons Matt Groening?
Yeah, Simpsons dude.
Makes
I
sense.
think, hmm?
Makes
Yeah, I
sense.
think, well, the Clinton thing, obviously, I'm, so there's been this, photograph of, what appears to be Trump about to give, Bill Clinton a beach floating around the internet, and they can't figure out whether it's real or fake. I've been trying to figure it out myself. It looks really real, and it's the first time I saw it, I just tried to cover my head underneath a pillow and scream.
I mean, I don't care if it's real. I love the fact that it's out there and that it's circulating. They used to do that to the women in like the 90s. Remember when they used to
Yep,
Photoshop like celebrities' faces on naked women's bodies and stuff? Hey,
yep.
let's grab him by the testicles.
I mean, at this point, it's actually kind of interesting that you mentioned that because women models specifically, we've had to deal with this leaked nudes thing for decades. And now that's becoming like a thing that's happening to everyday people. And now that it's starting to be used as a defense by a bunch of soggy old guys who actually did horrific crimes against women and have corroborating evidence to it, it's interesting to see how much of a crime it is now. You know what I mean? Like, oh, so it didn't matter when it was these women, but now that it's a respectable woman, it matters. Okay, I see how that is.
I mean, I just, hey, society decides who's respectable and who isn't, right?
Mhm. I am proud to not be considered to be socially acceptable by anyone. Yeah, so US Justice Department releases heavily redacted cache of Epstein files. $10 says the entire Supreme Court's on there, except for the women. The women are
There
just
might
like,
be
I
a couple of them might be on there too. Don't count the ladies out, okay? Don't count the ladies out. Those are the ones who be reeling them in. Don't
Let's
count them
see.
out.
So
And you know
some of the
what's really interesting? It doesn't matter to me whose name is in there. Everyone who was on that island knew something was going on. It's just like the Diddy thing. If you were around him, you knew
you
what he
knew.
was in after hours, you knew what he was into. You know, even if you were the one that was like, "Oh, well, she's barely legal. She just turned 18. She's just 19. Okay, that's fine. And I'm 48. Okay, yeah, that's great." But no, you still knew that there was some younger shit going on there too. Just because your hands are clean doesn't mean your hands are clean. Every people knew what was going on.
So have you ever met anybody who's attended a Diddy party?
No. Wait, yes, but I didn't know about it at the time. And I mean, it wasn't a big deal. The first one I knew about was way back in the day, and so it wasn't a big deal back then. And that person's now deceased. But the other person, yeah, and they were like, "Oh my God, I went to one of those parties. I'm glad nothing happened to me." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm glad nothing happened to you too." Hell, what's really kind of interesting is that um, I probably would have gone to one.
Honestly,
You know,
same.
yeah, if invited back in the day, especially when I was doing porn, I would have gone.
Yeah,
It's a fucking Diddy party. You know what I mean? That was what, especially for us that were in the industry,
that's how you
trying to
network.
cross over or do whatever we were trying to do. Of course, we would have gone, you
Yeah.
know? Um,
And that's like
and we
and
would
that's like the messed up part because like I was sex trafficked, not at these like high profile things, obviously. Unfortunately, I got shafted out of that because at least I could have made like $1 million talking about it on CNN or some shit like that. No, I didn't even get that. I didn't even get that fucking shit. Um, but like, it's weird because I've mentioned this before, but a lot of sex traffickers, what they'll do is they'll like bring in like actual like adult performers and they'll be like, look, it's all legit. You're getting paid. These people are here to get paid. Listen, if people use drugs, that's just part of the lifestyle. And then people just kind of nod, but then they don't notice that they never ask one another. There's like that weird culture of silence around it. And there have been very, very close scrapes I've had where like, and this actually was related to a party at a certain convention that I used to go to, where two of the girls who were paid, I don't think that they got paid, and I don't think I ever heard from them again. So these things happen, and it's like it's so weird to see how Diddy parties like now they've become a euphemism for like how predatory the rap industry really is.
mhm. And it's not even just it's not just the rap industry, you know what I mean? Like, it goes on in metal, it goes on
Mm-hmm.
everywhere, it goes on in goth music, like drag house, like that's a if you there could be a Diddy party going on right now at drag house here in LA, you know what I mean? It's an after hours from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., right? And there could be like some and no one would care because everybody in that club would be into it. It's just it's the way our culture
Yeah.
is, and
Like
it's really fucked up.
it's weird because with Diddy parties and in the hip hop industry in like in particular, it's one of the last few places where old school groupieism is still alive. Like you don't see that much in rock anymore because like when you have rock groupies, they're like, oh, which ones of these are underage? Because I know what those scene queens. Okay, thanks, bye. LOL. Oh my God, Hello Kitty, so random. Like they don't act old, you know what I mean? But like in the rap industry, like some of these girls actually do make a name and a brand of themselves by being a groupie. And speaking as somebody who I've slept with my fair amount of low end celebrities and a couple of like, yep, you too.
I used to call myself a star fucker.
Me too. I'm still a star fucker. Who the hell am I kidding?
Yeah.
Um, but Elena, when I was a teenager, my younger sister got raped. I had no idea what happened. I always regretted I was so out of it. I could not protect her. Okay, Elena, do not regret that you could not protect her. Listen, these things happen, and you cannot always be there for people, even when you think that you should be there. Okay? Do not blame yourself. The only person who deserves blame is the person who hurt your younger sister. Monty, what are you
Yeah.
doing?
And don't worry about the drugs thing. You know, we go through
Bro,
things in life where we sit there and do these shoulda, woulda, couldas about a lot of shit that go on in our life. But in another alternate universe, maybe you did do something, you know? And
um,
they would mm,
yo, my cat just did some really fucking freaky shit. He was standing up on his hind legs and he was swatting at something that didn't exist. And now he just
oh.
hid under the bed.
Yeah, it's not your fault. Even if you took too many drugs, it's not
Yeah,
your fault.
like one thing that a lot of people don't understand about these kinds of situations is that 99% of the time have taking drugs and also going into those parties as a way to network and as a way to connect to people is the only way to get ahead. And it's the only way to get allowed in certain circles where, you know, you either get that contract, you get that record deal, you get introduced to somebody who could, take you off the streets. And it's really messed up. And in the rap industry, like a lot of the women who were groupies who attended those Diddy parties, because let's just be honest, they had to attend those in order to meet their rapper boyfriends. Exactly. Like, well, also like, but yeah, like I understand that like sometimes drugs are just for fun, but like with a lot of those girls, that was the price of entry. There's a really weird reason that I've noticed that this happens, particularly in entertainment. And there's a certain culture of silence and there's a certain culture of control. People forget that a lot of the entertainment industry is owned by a handful of really horrible people. And they want control. They do not want you to be out of their ring of control. So what they do is they get shit on you, they get dirt on you, and the price of you entering a lot of those big names is the dirt. And if you don't do it, you're going to be really screwed over. It happens a lot with men in the fashion industry too.
Yeah, it's a very delicate balance. You know, there are a lot of people, there are a few people that make it and don't do all that. Um, but predators
Most do.
prey. You know, predators prey on the weak. They prey on the ones who aren't gonna fight as hard. They prey on the ones who are not paying attention. Prey on the ones who really, 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 really want it and take advantage of that person. You know, there's some people that make it out unscathed because they have a support system around them that was able to protect them. There are a few artists that have worked with Diddy that never even got, that never got assaulted because they had a support system around them that was able to withdraw them or, keep them buffered enough that they didn't have to worry about being assaulted. But when you're kind of thrown out there, when your family around you is predatory, when they're using you for your own talents, things like that. Look at Aubrey O'Day. Her mother used her for her talents and basically sold her off to Diddy, was okay with it. She's got a really fucked up relationship with her mother. But same thing with these Epstein girls. A lot of these young women were disadvantaged and didn't have a support system behind them. They didn't have anyone they could turn to and talk about those kinds of things, and yeah, let's wave a little bit of money and send them to a high-end school to, for music and art history and all that stuff. All the while we're still gonna assault them. But
So it's interesting you bring that up because, yeah, as a lot of people know, I used to be a fashion model as well as a nude model. I still do nude modeling. I still occasionally do my own, like, fashion modeling type stuff. I style my own outfits on my Instagram. Um, but with fashion, when I was in the fashion modeling scene as a professional model, it was about 2006, 2008. This was during the Pro Anna experience where pro ana means, well, it's technically pro anorexia, but it was a community of people who were eating disordered, such as myself. And at the time, I was a size 00. I'm 5'9", so that's kind of really small.
oh, I can't even imagine you being that small.
I was
I
90
can't
pounds
imagine
lighter.
anyone being that small. Just so we're being like, I'm not saying, oh my God, you're a big whale. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I
Nah,
can't imagine anyone being that small. Like,
nah, I was
oh,
90 pounds lighter than I am now, which gives you an idea. And basically the entire movement of pro anorexia and pro bulimia and pro ednos. We had pro ana, pro mia, pro ednos. We had like certain jewelry we'd wear, like red dragonflies and blue dragonflies. That was a sign that you struggle with hanging out with Anna or hanging out with Mia. And like we'd do harm reduction forums. So it'd be like, okay, so here's how you can at least try to eat something so you don't collapse on set. Or if you're trying to refeed, here's how you can refeed, because refeeding is when you starve yourself so much that if you eat too much food or if you even eat like a normal meal, your body will reject it. And I've had that happen several times. Um at one point I almost ended up in a banana bag. Um
what is that? What does that look like, if you don't mind my asking? I what does that look like, the actual event itself? Like, you're trying to eat again a normal meal after that. Does that, like,
so
you just, like, are like, "No, I just can't do it," just and push it
it's
away?
not I just can't do it. Like this actually happened with a lot of survivors from concentration camps like Auschwitz in the 1940s, and that's when they came up with the term refeeding syndrome. When you are on an extremely, extremely calorie restricted diet. At my lowest calorie restriction, I was about 400, 500 calories a day. Um, I decided, you know what, I decided I was just going to get high. I got high, I got the munchies. So I ate a cupcake and then I started feeling really, really sharp pain in my stomach. I ate the entire cupcake and it came out projectile. And then I got like really sick, like my body was like spazzing out, like my blood sugar was going crazy.
Yeah, dumping
And
syndrome.
yeah, like
Yeah,
it
that's a
was
good one.
it was absolutely scary. So like, it was during this era where models were expected to be pin thin. I was still having people tell me to lose more weight as a size 00. To give you an idea, I had 34-inch hips. Like that's literally the size of my waist now. And they were telling me, listen, you still don't have a thigh gap. I'm not built to have a thigh gap. And they're like, could you please get just a little bit skinnier? Like, to give you an idea, size 00 is also a size 13 children's. So I was literally like wearing children's clothing when I was not on the runway sometimes. And one of the models, going back to the story, one of the models who was around during this era, she actually had a sister who was also a runway model, died on the runway. And I believe that she actually was with either John Robert Powers or another like major modeling agency. I remember John Robert Powers actually being implicated in the Epstein case. A lot of
Oh,
these
yes,
were.
and Victoria's Secret.
Yeah. And so this woman who died on the runway, she probably knew a bunch of victims. She probably was, you know, trafficked along with them, especially when I heard what her mom said when they put her to rest. They said her mom, this girl is like from a Latin American country, I believe. And she was 5'11". I think she was like 105 pounds when she died. And she literally died. Yeah, 5'11". She was taller than me.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, she collapsed. She collapsed on the runway. She died. Um, I remember her mom saying, everybody thinks that being a runway model is so glamorous. And then her mom said that it's literally legal white slavery. And I sat there and I was like, that's a really weird way to say that you're not okay with a modeling thing. And for a while, it never really clicked to me because I was like, well, yeah, like you end up hooking up with people a lot as a model, but like, I don't understand why she said that. It makes sense now because she probably was a victim of Epstein.
I'm
And
telling you, bro, she's not wrong.
she's not wrong. I
Not
mean,
wrong.
she's not wrong. Like I'm one of those people who stopped caring about how many people I hook up with. Like I'm a horny mofo anyway. And more often than not, I'll be like the person who the modeling agency will be like, so you ready to seal this contract? 15 minutes later, he'll be like, she scares me. I'm bruised at
Exactly.
places I didn't know existed. But like with a lot of these like upscale models, most of the girls who've walked the runway, they've been approached like that. Uncle Terry, if anybody remembers that scandal, Terry Richardson. I'm pretty sure
Oh,
he was affiliated with Epstein too. And he sexually assaulted almost every single model he shot with.
the photographer. Yes.
Yep. For those not in the know, Terry Richardson was a famous A-list photographer. He shot a lot of people in the New York and LA areas. And he was the go-to for most of these modeling agencies. I know Wilhelmina did work with them. I know Ford did work with them. Obviously the Epstein people probably did too because he was famous for sexually assaulting these women, whipping it out in front of them, manhandling himself, grabbing them. And when the scandal came out, that was actually the start of Me Too. And these girls were talking about how they were afraid to lose their contract, how they were afraid to lose their livelihood if they spoke out against him.
Yeah. I hate that whole silencing culture, like, because you get blacklisted if you have to be quiet and you start
Hmm.
talking, you want to tell people, you know, you're blacklisted or you're difficult or some other lame excuse because some man can't keep it in his pants.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I just had to read a little bit from The Guardian. Some of the files that were viewable includes Epstein socializing with an array of prominent figures, including entertainers like Michael Jackson, Chris Tucker, Diana Ross, and Richard Branson. I'm kind of sad that Richard Branson got caught in this, dude.
I
Marnie,
mean,
his suspicion.
Michael Jackson and and who else? Lady Diana?
Um, no, Diana Ross. But it wouldn't
Okay.
shock me if Lady Di did the thing too.
I
Um,
mean, I could see her being there. I'm sure, just like with Diddy parties, on the surface, the parties were probably like nothing, right? And then you have the undercurrent, the after hours, the behind closed doors. Instead of everyone being on the first floor partying, there's another party going on the third floor that no one knows about. You know what I mean? I'm sure it was something like a lot of the stuff was stuff like that. But just the no, just the fucking record keeping of all of this
yeah.
stuff.
That's what fucking sends me out of all of this. Like it's literally the dude was record keeping it. He was like, "Okay, so let me just get the files I have on Michael Jackson." Okay, Michael Jackson was being diddled by some people. I don't
Yeah,
I refuse to be. Huh?
Let's cross-reference those tapes. Pull those tapes. We have those, right? That was in the parlor last Thursday at 4:32. That's the tape. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, this is so gross.
Exactly. Like, imagine, like, for someone like myself, it's so hard to imagine how many files this person had to have on so many people in order to just do all the crazy stuff that they did. Like, how many people were under Epstein's thumb and under Trump's thumb simply because there was so much cataloged evidence?
I just thought of something. I bet you this is how Trump got in office.
Yo, I forget what site I saw it on. As a
Andy
lot of people know,
Kaufman,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
how to
like,
do.
as a lot of people know, I go on those psychic prediction sites. And one of the predictions I saw, like, a lot of us, we do remote viewing into the future and into the past and whatever. One person said that they saw a phone call where the guy was basically telling Elon, if Trump doesn't get in office, they're going to be coming for all of us. I'm
But
willing to bet that Elon's file is a mile long. I'm willing to bet it. Call it now. Like, I mean, the dude's such a horn dog. He doesn't even try to hide it.
I don't know about Elon. Elon, no, I don't know because the only fucking reason I say no about Elon is because of Iggy Azalea. Iggy Azalea was fucking him and Grimes at a time. She would have known. She would have figured that shit out. She did mention something about, was it Grimes? Yeah, it's Grimes. It was, she did mention something on Twitter about like he is into like they're together into some kinky shit, but she didn't mention anything about like, I'm gonna try, like she would say to the world that he likes little girls and all that other shit. Like she would tell everybody.
Bro, give me a minute. Like, I was attracted to Iggy Azalea. Now I feel like I have to
Wait,
wash my sniz just because I.
not is it Iggy Azalea? No, not the white one, the black one.
Oh,
Iggy Azalea is the white one, right? Or is she the black
yeah,
one?
she's the
Okay,
white one.
not Iggy Azalea. No, okay, not
Okay,
Iggy
okay, okay. I was
Azalea.
gonna, I was gonna be like, dude,
Iggy,
Krayshawn,
Azalea Banks. That's what it
Azalea
was. Yeah,
Banks.
I'm having a Price is Right moment. Not price. Oh fuck, Wheel of Fortune. I'm having a Wheel of Fortune moment. Yes, Azalea Banks, Grimes, and Elon Musk used to fight. Yeah, yeah. They had a public breakup like a few years back,
I'm kind of
and
surprised that Elon, with all his white nationalism, was into Azalea Banks, but actually, I've noticed that a lot with racists. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm racist against Hispanic people." Next thing you see, that he's got like a Colombian mommy at home. He's like, "I'm sorry, baby."
it's
It's
because
true.
the black person is usually a token. So, or, cooning in some way, shape, or form, or like really trying to be cool with the whites, so to speak.
Yeah, like it's actually kind of interesting that you mentioned that, because you know who's really been getting a lot of blowback from that? Elon has a brother. His name is Ion. He's very quiet, but is involved in everything Elon does. I feel like Elon's like number one sexuality is himself.
Yes.
Um, kept Banks around for Grimes' sake. They smoked together, but it's not about sex. It's about power for that. Yeah, I agree with that. Um,
Can't see the comments.
mo-
I'm trying to fucking read them and I can't read them.
all right. So decars. Yeah, PJ Schuster says just like the Christian nationalists will allow a woman to be front facing as a token woman. You know who's been having a very hard time with that? Usha Vance.
Oh, you saw what Erica Kirk did, right?
The
You saw, I don't know that, but she's like, oh, well, she said something to her. I guess it was she shaded her and was like, oh, I'll give her a hug too, and I'll make sure I rub the back of her head.
Oh my God.
I was like, bitch, you gonna die soon. Someone is going to be someone is going to assassinate Miss Vance. I'm sorry, Mrs. Vance and the
Yeah,
children.
like
She and
I
the
feel
children are
bad
gonna
for
die suddenly.
I feel bad for Usha, but I've noticed this with like a lot of women who are right-wing wives who are not white. Like they're always like, "No, no, no, I'm one of them. Look, look, I married a white guy." I'm like, "Sweetheart, listen, I don't know how to tell you this, but they really don't like you. They like your
Well,
money. They like your
you and your
connections."
you and your brown children are getting back on that boat and getting shipped back to wherever you're from, honey. As soon as what? No, they're gonna kill him. I'm just. It's
I
it's
mean,
ridiculous.
it happened with a lot of people in the Nazi party. The
What
night
she
of the
said that. Oh, she said that about Joy Reid. Um, you know what? You could be right because I did see it on Joy Reid's Instagram feed, so I could be getting my people mixed up. But wouldn't it be kind of dope if she did say that though to her?
something like that.
Yep.
Like it's actually kind of interesting watching the right wing kind of fall apart now. Because, you know, as a white girl who grew up in a very conservative town, surrounded by really conservative people in a conservative college, which somehow was not all Christian, but somehow was all white enough to end up on a KKK's top rated list. Yes, Monmouth University. I know about that. Look, calls it like I sees it. That's what I grew up with. That's the kind of environment I was in. Super all white, super this, super that. I saw this a mile away. All the conservative women be like, "Yeah, we're best friends. Look at how best friends we are." And then you see them like 5 minutes later after the camera stops rolling. Oh, I hate her.
You
Like
hate each other.
they
Have
hate
you
each
have,
other.
have you ever watched Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
Yes, but I could not get into it because my eyes start pointing in opposite directions. I'm like,
Girl,
I
that is the prime example um of what white women are like when it comes to their friendship. Excuse me, women in general, these women are like with their friendships. That's why housewives and shit is so popular because these women be stabbing each other in the back and kissing on each other's husbands and throwing each other into the bus. It's
yeah.
just where we are.
No, like for a lot for women in that kind of subculture, because I've noticed that there's a little bit of that in every single whatchamacallit. There's a little bit of that backstabbiness in every single like friendship group. Like you see it in DJs. The DJs could make Mormon housewives have a run for their money.
Mhm.
Um, ask me how I know. I've had to babysit enough of the fuckers. Um,
Ego.
huh? The ego,
Ego.
yeah. But with most of the most of the Mormon wives and most of the conservative women, like your power in the conservative world, especially like if you're in a white nationalist background, if you're in a hard right wing background, what's that? It's a poof. Got it.
The microphone.
Nice. No, but
Can
like
you hear me?
yes.
Okay.
But like if you're in like a white nationalist background, or if you're like in a hyper conservative, hyper religious background, if you're a woman, your power is who you're married to and who you can attract. And a lot of those housewives, like the husbands will just like literally just like shove them together and be like, okay, now you guys are best friends. And most of those girls like look at them, they're like trying to eye up each other and see, okay, so this guy's the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. This guy's a very well-known judge. This guy's a politician. My husband's only a vice president of a banking branch. So how do I get a little bit closer to this girl? And
Yeah.
these women are sitting there, they're like, well, this girl is the vice president of a banking branch. So you know, I'm worried that she's gonna try to move in on my man. She's gonna try to take my power. She's gonna try to home wreck my family. That's how they think because they have no actual power of their own in that type of society.
Which is interesting because, back in the golden age, society was where it's at, but to be divorced was to be, shunned from the world. So why then steal someone else's man when you're going to end up divorced? That just doesn't make any sense. But one of the things I saw or I see is that especially when you come from like affluent wealth, like your parents are really wealthy or whatever, you tend to run in like circles where your parents run in and all that. So you have to be frenemies with these people because you're gonna see them no matter what. So you learn to like tolerate certain people. Where like, yeah, my friends are gonna be my dad's your business partner and we hate each other, but we're always gonna be vacationing with each other. It's that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
it's fucking crazy how they have to tolerate each other and they really, really hate each other.
And like now that the Epstein files are out, it's interesting because you're starting to see that same type of frenemy dynamic with men in this circle. Um, one of those psychic places that I saw, like they explained it best. Like they said that it's basically like this pack of marauders. They're acting like an economic cancer where they're just stealing indiscriminately. They don't even know why they want to hoard that power, but they're doing it. And people are starting to become aware of it and people are getting fed up with it. And that's their biggest fear. That's why they have the underground bunkers and that's why they tend to isolate themselves from mainstream humanity. I mean, the Epstein files, decarceration, yes, they are out, but they're so heavily redacted that you might as well have just gotten like a pile of tissue paper and just like put a bunch of smiley faces on it. It was basically the same.
It's like here's the Chinese food menu in the middle of all that redaction. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing to read. There's so much
it's like,
that we're never gonna
okay,
see.
let me see. I got an Epstein file right here. It's says Trump Kung Pao Chicken Hilton and the word city. Okay, everybody, figure out what that means.
Apartment 4, and then way down at the bottom, it's like 7258 paid in cash, and that's it. Like, what?
Yep.
What else is there? But,
So it's interesting because these files also kind of revealed a little bit of an interesting inner working. Not only did Epstein know everybody like on that list, which is kind of insane if you think about it, but think about how many people he actually connected together. Trump and Melania actually met on the airplane to Lolita Island. Like Trump met his wife there. How many other matchmakers, how many other people do you think were match made in the Epstein ring? Because I think it's a lot.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that.
Trafficking works multiple ways, and sometimes the way that the trafficking happens isn't necessarily trafficking, but strategic partnerships that they push women into in those kinds of circles.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know.
Allegedly, the Illuminati does it too. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Like a
Always
lot of
get in
these
trouble.
people, like Alan Dershowitz, I'm willing to bet some Rothschilds, I'm willing to bet like a million different people on that list. They were like, okay, so we're at an Epstein party. Here's my teenage daughter. They might, one of the moms might be like, please keep your daughter away from that man, but how about we get her in touch with your son? This way they kind of know the deal. That way they
Don't
can
leave your daughter around
basically
me.
become a bond.
Sorry. I'm having an Usher moment.
Bleh.
Don't leave your daughter around me. Never mind. Anyway,
Trump Trump introduced Epstein to many girls through the Trump modeling agency, where he had girls as young as 14, and explicitly encouraged the girls to find older male suitors. Yeah, that pretty much tracks with what I've seen personally. Hell, I mean, you don't even need to be an Epstein person to hear about stuff like that. Like, if you've ever hung out with like Wall Streeters and you're like a pretty young 20-year-old girl, they'll be like, you don't really need to do all this. How about you find yourself a nice guy in finance, take care of you a little bit, maybe get a sugar daddy. I know at least two people who have had that pulled on them, including, but actually both of them were former coworkers. Yeah, I was kind of like, hey, I could be a sugar baby for you, and they're like, no, you scare me. Um, I'm apparently too scary and aggressive for Wall Streeters. Explains why they keep running away.
everybody runs away from us.
I'm like, uh, I swear I'm a normal human worm baby. Love me. No,
Well,
but
you're not normal.
I'm a reasonable facsimile of normal, maybe.
I mean, who wants to be normal?
Accurate. Is there even a normal anymore?
No, there definitely isn't. Everyone is abnormal now.
So,
And if they're not, they're now abnormal.
so what do you want to see uncovered now that the Epstein files are starting to get leaked? Because I think that there's going to be I think that there's going to be resistance, and I think that there's going to be leaks coming from the inside, showing a little bit more than what we know.
What do I want?
Decarceration says the radio in my fingernail informs me regarding what is normal or not.
There you go. I want one of those.
Me too. My claws still look good. I'm happy about that.
I gotta get mine filled.
Yeah, I
I've
have
got some
next week.
deep valleys. Yep, deep valleys. Gotta go get them filled. I don't know. My head hurts from the whole thing, and of course, I keep getting distracted because of all the distractions afoot. You know, we're killing people in Venezuela, and we're starving people still. Um, and who is it now? Who are we going to war with again? I mean, there's so many things to distract you from these fucking Epstein files. And Trump is doing it on purpose. Oh, and then to find out we are now in the fucking Hunger Games.
Yeah, and like ICE has started to go harder than ever before in the US too. Like we've had raids up and down the East Coast.
And the fuckers can't even pass the tests needed in order to get into ICE, so they're just letting them in. At this point, they're letting in the guys who have fucking warrants out for their arrest. There's violence in their fucking records. They're just creating a gang. But dude, seriously, the Patriot games, you heard about that, right?
No?
We are now going into the Hunger Games portion of our entertainment um, for our reality show, which is called Life. Donald Trump has decided that each state in the United States is going to put up a pair of teenagers, one boy and one girl, to compete in games in the United States. It's now called the Patriot Games. So each of the 50 states is going to have a teenage set of representatives.
I have never been so happy to be the most unathletic human being I've ever met. And human being is being used extremely loosely there. Like,
I
it's
hate
funny
my whole
because,
idea.
like, you know that there's that old joke where a cop is watching a guy stumble out of a bar. Guy trips on his own feet, gets up, starts jamming his key into the side of the car, doesn't really quite get it. Finally opens up the door, sits down. Cop is like, okay, I'm going to get this guy DUI. Gonna get my quota. Cop pulls the guy over and goes, okay, get out of the car. And the guy goes, okay, what's up? And he goes, you were staggering drunk out of there, weren't you? And the guy goes, well, you might want to give me a breathalyzer. Breathalyzer below 0, 0. And then the cop goes, how are you talking stone cold sober when you're just hobbling out of there acting drunk as a skunk? The guy goes, oh, that's because I'm not the designated drunk. I'm the designated distraction. That is Trump. That is Trump.
This took a
Like,
long time to get to that joke.
no, but it's true. Trump is literally a designated distraction. He is the most useful idiot of all times. And and the funny thing is that like half the nation is kind of still eating it up.
That's the problem. That's the point. That's why reality TV is as bad as it is because we love it so much. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like this man can do nothing fucking wrong. And we sit there and we're just like, I wonder what he'll do next. You know, what I like, and now you can't, you demolished part of the White House and now what? You can't rebuild it because my daughter's like, contractors won't take the bid. I'm like, no, there's somebody out there who's going to take the bid for that hall. You give it time. Come on. People donated to it. Of course they're going to build that
Yeah.
fucker. I mean, stop it. She's like, they're not going to get it built. I'm like, no, there's a plan.
I find it very like apropos that Trump's mark on the White House, like you know how like that one dude had a cherry tree, the other dude had like a rose garden. Trump has a barren hole where the fucking wing used to be. That is his mark on the White House. That is so appropriate. That is so symbolic. Why don't we just add some idiocracy wrestling ring or something like that? Put Captain Joe Bot on there or something.
Well, at least they don't have slaves building it this time. There's
Eh,
that.
give it 20 years and they'll probably have us all as slaves, all indentured servitude. They're like, look, it's a lot better because all of you guys are slaves, not just one race.
All the poor will be slaves soon. Yeah,
Yeah.
they will.
Like,
All the poor will be slaves soon.
it's interesting because in a weird way, I think that America kind of deserved this reality check because, like, I did notice the country changing for the worse and having like this weird blowback and everything. But we always had this undercurrent as a hateful society. The only reason that we were as left as we were in the 2000s is because slut shaming was still alive and well. Women had to still walk that really, really tiny tightrope to please the men because if they spoke out, if they said, hey, you assaulted me, that would have been an instant, like, death blow to their social life, to their career. I ought to know. I used to speak out. Like, there was still that weird sense of patriarchal control. Now that that's gone, so many people are flipping out and they're trying to still grab some kind of control that makes them feel superior to one group or another, not realizing that they're just really shooting themselves in the foot at this point.
So all these systems harm everyone who is not, I'm sorry, all these systems harm everyone who didn't create them
Hmm.
and who created those systems. Whoever created those systems are the ones that are going to benefit from those systems. And, that's what capitalism looks like. Uh,
Yeah. The best example of this, I've always seen guys be like, "No, feminism ruined America because now men can't provide." My brother in Christ, what happens when you lose a limb? What happens when you're sick and you can't provide for your family no more? The wife has to step up. Why? Because capitalism.
Bro, feminism didn't fuck shit up.
Feminism allowed a
Patriarchy.
lot of guys to get a lot away with a lot of stuff that they would have been shot for 60 years ago. Like, could
Feminism
you?
ushered in rape culture more easily. You know what I mean? Like feminism allowed us to be hurt a little bit more in certain situations. You know, like there's certain things like feminism is didn't hurt men. Patriarchy hurt all of us, and
Mhm.
it hurts men, and that's what that's where it should be. Don't Feminism has a lot of like fucked up parts to it, but it has nothing to do with men in general.
Yeah.
Patriarchy is the one who's fucked us all, and it's the reason we need all of these things.
Yeah.
So
Decarceration mentions, I know people make it a gendered thing about men being turned away, but if you're turning to idiots in the manosphere, you're a fucking idiot and you don't deserve to feel like a real person. I agree with that. You know why? Because it's this patriarchy thing that makes men think that their only value is how many women they get into.
yeah, that and how much money they have. But here's the thing. A lot of these guys, this is a two-part thing. A lot of these guys, one, don't have a strong male role model, right? And if they do, they have one they can't relate to and one they don't want to listen to. Like a lot of young men, like they're like, how come there's no one teaching the boys at home? There's two reasons for that. One, half these little fools out there don't want to listen. They don't feel like they should have to listen. It's gone too long without having anyone there to like relate to. And two, like whoever the man of the house is not giving them a proper example of what a man should be or could be. I mean, they've had men who've been overly aggressive and assertive for their whole lives. So those are the two examples that we have. So there's no one out there really helping young men. So that's why they're looking up to these fucking idiot guys because they're like, oh, okay, you get where I'm coming from. You've been
Hmm.
where I've been.
So I'm also going to add a third thing that a lot of women get a bit upset with me about mentioning. So one of the biggest issues that we have right now in our school systems, and I've noticed the effects of it pretty deeply, is the lack of male teachers. Because, everybody's there's definitely reverse sexism in the education industry up until you're like in college, and then all of a sudden all the professors are male because that's the high paid area. And when you look at like how boys act in middle school, elementary school, and all of their teachers are female, it's interesting because they can't relate to a female teacher. They view it as like an extension of their mom. And what kind of preteen boy wants to listen to their mom talk for like 5 hours a day minimum, right? But
Yeah.
when you see young boys getting taught by a male teacher, I swear to God, I've seen this myself, and had I not seen it, I would have called BS on it. Most of the boys start behaving a lot better, and they start listening to him a little bit more, and they're like, "Wait, I can be a teacher too." Followed by, "Wait, this is a role model who's actually real." Like a lot of the stuff that patriarchy encourages is this idea of like women being the only caretakers of children. Well, guess what? That's not actually natural. Men are supposed to be caretakers too. In the 19th
Okay.
in the 19th century, men actually were the major caretaker of children in a lot of cases. Like there were kids who spent more time with their not husbands, their fathers than they did their mothers. And in a weird way, I think that actually helped a lot of people back then become stronger people. Nowadays, we're so afraid of male teachers molesting the crap out of all these kids that they're actually, you can't actually hire them without people giving you the side eye.
But that's the thing though, like, and I agree with everything that you just said, because all of that is true. I do want remind me at another time to circle back on the teacher thing. I mean, spending more time with the fathers. Remind me, like at another time, we're not doing this, but um, oh my God, why am I having a senior moment right
I'm
now?
just completely blanked out too.
Oh no, the teaching thing. So this is the reason why I've always. Oh, I know what it was. Um, the problem I see with male teachers is that you already know you're going to have that stigma, right? This is the difference between the resolve between men and women. You already know you're going to have the stigma of one either being homosexual, right? That's going to be like a stereotypical thing, or two that you're going to molest the children, or God forbid, both of those things, gay and molest the children. But these men are giving up too easily. If teaching is your passion, and this is something that you really want to do, then do that. And if you're giving up and doing something else or doing it only until you can do something else, then that's understandable. I mean, and also I can understand it too with not being paid well as a teacher. So why would I want to put up with all this shit? I'm being told that I'm going to molest the kids and the students. And so there's all
Yeah,
these different, there's all these different layers you know, to it. There's always all these different nuances. But, I feel like if you really, really want something, you'll stick with it. You'll stick with it as long as you possibly can, or you'll try to pivot into something where you can figure out a way to do that in another environment.
I agree. Like, it's interesting. It's interesting that, like, we're dealing with all this, like, social stuff, all this kind of stuff where patriarchy is trying to enforce itself and it's not really working as well as they'd hoped. And now the Epstein files is coming out. We're like, hey, aren't these the people who the patriarchy wanted us to love? The billionaires, the church pastors, the pop artists, the rappers, the politicians. Why are they all doing these horrible things that they tell us not to do? And why are they allowed to get away with it? There's this whole double standard that they're seeing, and they're trying, like, I think to a point they're trying to dumb us down a little bit. So one of the easy
Absolutely.
one of the easiest ways to do it is to, one, make it so that schools are a hostile environment for everyone involved. Like, women are still left as the caretakers, but guess what? They pushed out men by being, hey, you're guilty until proven innocent. Because I'll tell you one thing, like, if I was a dude and I wanted to be a teacher, I would be dealing with some really soul shattering feelings. Seeing parents grab their kids and, like, that's my little Timmy. I'd be like, I'm handing a ball to your son, sir. You know?
I don't know. I wish I could have more sympathy for men. I don't. I have no sympathy for them. If black people could cross over the fucking line and go into a school system and get, threatened to be killed in order to teach their little white children, there's no excuse for men.
Honestly, you have
I'm
a
sorry,
point.
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
You have a point, and it's funny that you mentioned that because the women who first went through desegregation and had to deal with that, I think one of the most famous was named Laura Bridges. She is still alive today. This is not like ancient history. This is stuff that people lived through fairly recently in history. There are also Auschwitz survivors going, "Hey, you see that orange dude in the White House? We should get him out of there before." Yeah, they still have the tattoos. They're like, "Orange guy, White House."
Oh my
And
God, it was so loud over on your side with my, that's gotta be startling. That's
wait,
gotta
am
be
I shouting too loud?
startling. No, I'm shouting too loud on your end. Like I can hear myself over on your end.
I It's actually not that loud.
Oh, okay. It was
Yeah.
scaring me.
No, we're currently trying to figure out how to do this whatchamacallit, this podcast a little bit better.
We're just shooting
But
the shit.
chat, I want to hear what kind of revelations and what kind of consequences do you want to see with the Epstein files? Because I want to see every single person involved in those Epstein things removed from office forcibly, maximum penalty, treason, because let's face it, there was a government cover up, and I want to see every single one of them get penalized to the maximum. That is considered to be an affront to American justice, an affront to. Elena's like, release the Kraken. I agree. The Kraken must be released. Not to be confused with the Kraken I might smoke. But okay, I kid. I don't actually smoke Kraken. Um, let's see. Decarceration says, well, any revelations would be a good start. I agree. So far, we've gotten a bunch of very wholesome looking photos until you find out that most of the girls are underage. So I actually want to see I want to see a video get leaked. Like I want to see a video get leaked. I'm dead serious. And the reason I say this is I notice that I'm not saying I want to see an X-rated video get leaked. No. I want to see a video get leaked of Trump admitting something on video, or I want to see a video of Epstein blackmailing one of our politicians getting released. Because you know that that's going to be on there. They have that. I can guarantee it. If he kept this much, like, filings on all of the people who came and left the island, you can bet that there's some stuff that has been video recorded because he knew it could be an ounce of control.
Okay, yeah, I will. That I would look forward to seeing. But just for the record, I didn't think you meant anything sexual. Like I,
I know I have to actually explain that to audiences though, because if I say otherwise or if I skip saying that, people are going to take it out of context and, it's going to be burn the witch time. Decarceration says an investigation into JP Morgan Chase, who did extensive business with Epstein. I agree. JP Morgan Chase, BlackRock. Those two are literally a cancer on our country at this point.
it is so, like I keep thinking about them being around since the 1800s, starting that bank and all the money they've amassed over all of these years, all these hundreds and hundreds of years, and to see what they're able to still accomplish at this, like in 2025. Were we watching fucking the show on HBO? What the fuck is that show called? About the golden era?
I don't know, but have you ever actually seen a picture of JP Morgan?
He was a fat little fuck, wasn't he? Like a short fat fucker.
His face was like dehydrated. It was so weird. I was like, I kind of want to know like if he was like put in a beef jerky processor before they took his photo.
Yes. The Gilded Age. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because JP Morgan is in the fucking show. That's why I had to say it, like the Gilded Age. And they were doing dastardly deeds back then. Fucking for
Mm-hmm.
fuck's sake. They were gonna let all the fucking factory people die. They don't give a shit about us.
They don't.
We are ants. We are ants to these people.
What I want to see, as a young man, he was gorgeous. I would believe that. Like, I saw like some photos and some descriptions of Billy the Kid, and I was like, apparently Billy the Kid was a total ladies' man. Like, women would have a hard time getting away from him because they'd be like, "Hey, I know I'm married, but hi, Billy the Kid. You
The
can
whole
steal me
reason why
away."
he got away. Yes, that's why he got away with a lot of shit for so long. is because same thing with fucking um the serial killer,
Which one?
the hot one in the bug. His
The hot
name
one in the bug.
in the beetle that was driving across
Oh,
town.
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy was
I was
fucking
thinking
hot
of
too.
Richard Ramirez.
Yeah. Richard
Like,
Ramirez was not hot. Supposedly he had
he looks like
grimy.
my baby daddy. Come on,
No.
dude.
Richard Ramirez had fucked up teeth and he
So did my
stank.
baby daddy.
Okay, girl, you are not the rubric that we're going for here when we're talking about what normal America thinks of what is
To,
hot. We are not the rubric here. Okay, we're
to be
talking
fair, I
about
have facial blindness, so
that's even worse.
I thought he was hot.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure it was all about the
I
personality.
I mean, I have a tendency of liking complete psychos.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Bundy was hot.
Ew,
You know, Dahmer was hot in his circle. So
he's gross.
he is gross, but I mean, pretty privileged motherfuckers. I'm sorry. See, I told you I'm dark. It's just, it's crazy in these woods.
I mean, to be fair, Dahmer had like he had that weird kid thing going on. Like if you've ever read My Friend Dahmer, there's an entire comic book about him and what he was like in high school. And it's just really weird knowing that one, he was more popular than me in high school, and two, like, how's there no like freaking comic book of me in high school? I guess I haven't like reached serial killer fame, but like he was like really weird. Like he was an alcoholic, and also apparently in the 70s, people used to drink alcohol like in class and stuff like that. Man, if I could drink during class, you think I would have ever dropped out of school? No.
So I can neither confirm nor deny. However, I did know a couple kids that would bring thermoses of shit to school. So that was easy enough as it is on its own. However, I didn't know too many, people who were into that kind of thing. We were all theater nerds. So
I went to a I went to an ultimate nerd school. Like it was called High Tech High. That's how nerdy it was. We didn't even have sports teams because half of us would have ended up having asthma attacks. I was known for just like randomly walking around whatever court it was supposed to be. Eventually, the gym teacher gave up on all of us and let us have study hall and this thing called pillow polo where we took like oversized like cotton swab looking things and we're supposed to hit something, but I got confused as to what we were supposed to hit. So I started hitting other people, which apparently got me banned from that. Long story short, yeah, we didn't really have sports teams at my high school.
we have
Um,
much in fucking common. It's not even funny.
but like even in my high school, like there was apparently like some people who were potheads, but like you could never really tell except for that one time that a kid spilled soda on his lap, and then he like raised his hand and he asked the teacher, "Hey, Mrs. M, could I please take care of this? I spilled soda on my lap." And she goes, "Yeah, yeah, of course." So he just stands up, pulls down his pants, puts his pants on the radiator, and sits back down in his chair as if nothing happened. He got suspended.
That wasn't weed. That was not weed.
It could have just been like a lack of common sense. Like if there's one thing that high schoolers are great at, it's having no common sense.
That was someone slipped him a small shroom or something, or someone
I don't know
went
if
this way.
anybody I was not actually part of the druggy crowd at high tech, if there was even a druggy crowd.
That's why I'm
Oh my
like, we
god, dude, my
understand
cat's
why.
giving me the most judgmental look right now when I said that.
You know what? You know what I've noticed? Okay, it's becoming a pattern. After an hour, they start to fuck with you.
You're seeing the judgmental look, right?
Right. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? She on the phone with me, son.
You heard that loud, you've been hearing like the loud thumps and bangs. Well, if you heard like a boof or burp, that is my cat literally dragging stuff across the floor in the other room. But it
No
is a
worries. I'm gonna let you go soon because I gotta make mashed potatoes.
sounds good. Next time we should like bring like some random whatchamacallit news articles and just start talking about them. But yeah, thank you everybody who wanted to join us. Have a
Maybe
good
they
one.
can start submitting some stuff that they'd like us to talk about too.
Yes.
Yeah.
If any of you guys have if any of you guys have a request or if you guys want to chat with us, definitely hit us up. Actually, Lasha, uh
Yes.
you know who we might want to bring on who would be very fun simply because she could give us more perspective on the wild underbelly of Hollywood and, the adult film industry? Autumn South.
I don't know who that is, but okay.
She's mad cool. You're going to love her. Anyway, see you later, guys. I have to go and figure out what the heck my cat's just destroyed.
I gotta go smoke some weed and make mashed potatoes.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, wait. I'm still here. Bye.